talk about both the works and then ask you some other questions as well. But could we just start with 6 years later? I've been thinking a lot about the question of balancing movement invention and also borrowing from other traditions. And so could you start by talking a little bit about the partnering and the way that at times you're drawing on kinds of contact improvisation inspired things with sharing weight, and that other times it really looks like social dance, kind of hints of partnering that maybe we'd see from salsa. And could you talk a little bit about the exploration that you were doing in the studio with those kinds of ideas of partnering?
When I start working on a piece, I don't have like a pre-ideas. Okay, I don't say, let's say, I'm going to explore contact. I start by trying to do. Even like I know that like I hope that new things will come, but I know also that I should not be bothered by this question.
So when you get into the studio, you don't have a sort of already a list of, we're going to try these moves and this combination, that you really trust that in the studio you're going to discover something.
Yeah. At the end, I'm coming, and I need an excuse in order to start. Then we can like just speak. And it can be, because of that, I don't even remember the instructions, because it's in a way they don't stay. I find a shred of idea to start something, but then it gets evolved, and I forget from the source. 6 years later, started by actually I was restaging Immanuel Gatz's piece, The Rite of Spring, in Warsaw, and I had like 1 hour alone with in the studio, and I started by there was like a Schubert song playing in the I forgot even the name, and I just moved on the music. And what happened is that there was like 1, 2, 2, 2, 3, 2, 4, 2, and I made this long phrase. And when I met Hadar, now I remember everything actually. I told her, I have my movement, and you should put your head on me and find your own solutions.
Wow.
And then we spent, but it was so challenging and hard. Like we spent, I think, 1 week on like trying to understand, and it was not comfortable for her because my movement was like sharp and like jack. And like she needed to understand, and like it hit. Like
yeah, I can imagine some collisions, and as she's trying to figure out how close can I get, and
exactly.
Where, yeah.
And then, in order to help us, we came up with 3 ideas. We said you can move either with me. So you're you have a counterpoint. You have a counterpoint, and you can move. If I push you, you can move with me. Moving with me, it means that the whole body is moving. So she needs to use her feet. And then you don't move with me. So if she doesn't move, she just getting like a kind of echo to her body. And the third one was you let the movement pass you, go through you. And it really helped us. And we say, okay, this is like, those are the rules, and you stick to it. And of course, we broke the rule in one point, but like...
Yeah, I was wondering if you could talk about, I was thinking of that section in, when we hear the Beethoven, and there's that fabulous chest bump section, that is beautifully musical, but it's also kind of very kind of ordinary movement. And if you could just talk about like, so how you let yourself not worry about the beauty of the sound, or how Beethoven's been used in dance, and how you kept in the exploration of the movement.
I don't know how to explain it, but I'm not bothered by simple ideas. Shoulder, shoulder, chest. This is what it is. And one, actually, I had some people told me that came to see the rehearsal. They told me, it's not enough. Shoulder, shoulder, chest on the music. I'm sorry, but it's not enough. first we were struggling in like actually being in the rhythm. We were even talked about maybe to slow it down because it was really hard for us. But somehow I believed in this, if Beethoven can do ta 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 ta, so why we can do like ta 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 ta. So we kept doing that. And I think what we brought actually was we spoke about what do we feel. And if we actually Hadar trying to, like we invited ideas of persuading, like she's trying to how do you say that? Persuade in the many possibilities that she can.
I want to ask you now to talk a little bit about The Hill, which is a very powerful piece. And I was struck by the opening duet and that there's a witness. So for the whole first section of the dance, you have a dancer very still while your partnering is humorous, and and we're invited into this world that's kind of, so we don't know what's going to come. And could you talk a little bit about the idea to have a witness for that part?
I remember myself standing in ceremonies, I think twice a year, from the age of 5. And I think, and also then in the army, like there are many ceremonies and you're standing and you're waiting. So I think it came from that, of like standing. And I even remember once in school, we were standing, there was like the siren, and it was very hot, and at the end, one of my friends just collapsed. He fainted. Mm-hmm. And I think that this, only now I believe that this is like, that it was that, standing until fainting.
So one of the striking things is having this piece here in the United States is that maybe people know what is being said in the text and maybe people don't know, and that you absolutely clearly trust that the body is making plenty of meaning. But could you talk a little bit about the sort of the specificity of the language that maybe we don't understand?
First, I believe in the body, but also, rhythm of music, like sound, is so universal. Like everybody, I think that everybody felt the drums of the war. No, it's like something that, and this song tell a story of a war, of actually trying like a combat in a hill, in Immunation Hill, in the north part of Jerusalem, that was belonged to Jordan. To Jordan? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And 50 years ago, I mean, it's
in 67.
As you said that when you came out, that after you've performed the piece, like that you have your own emotional journey, very different from the emotional journey in the first piece. But it's also, it's in the past. So how does it resonate, the specificity of that incident? How does it resonate for you in present day, abstracted in the world of theater?
Any conflict resonate. What comes to the pieces probably is something that I need to solve, or I'm busy with, without even knowing. I didn't decide to do a piece about war. I don't know if, this is the truth. I started, and it's more about the tension between movement and music, and this is why this piece of music came, and this is why this piece came together.
You have a sense of history with this work. People who understand the text have a sense of history or learn something about it as they hear the text. But for those of us who are not insiders to the moment of history, how do you trust that we see what you want us to see?
Let's say you understand Hebrew. but you never lived in Israel, and you didn't serve in the army. And so your sensation will be different from someone that understands Hebrew, was in a war, or you know what, even like someone that was in that combat. We are coming. We are like how many people we are here? 200. We are coming from a very different backgrounds, and we perceive each performance that we see. We perceive it differently. We have different knowledges, and yes, someone that understands the text gains something. I don't know if it's good or bad, or if it's better, but obviously he gains something, but he also loses something that someone that doesn't understand the text can gain. It's like it's obvious.
So maybe
I'm dancing on Handel. Mm-hmm. In 6 years later, the last line. I never read the text. I don't know what it's talking about. But I feel very connected. I feel that I don't need the text. Mm-hmm. I don't want to read the text. I don't want it. I don't want this information. So
I think that's a great parallel of that sometimes the meaning is made by the sound of it, even without the specificity.
לנסות לפוצץ את הבונקר שלהם בבזוקה. הבזוקה עשתה כמה שריטות לבטון. החלטנו לנסות בחומר נפץ. חיכיתי מעליהם עד שחזר הבחור עם חומר הנפץ. הוא היה זורק לי חבילות, ואני הייתי מניח את החבילות אחת בפתח הבונקר שלהם. להם הייתה שיטה. קודם זרקו רימון, אחר כך ירו צרור, אחר כך נחו. אז בין צרור לרימון הייתי ניגש לפתח הבונקר שלהם ושם שם את חומר הנפץ. הפעלתי את חומר הנפץ והתרחקתי כמה שיכולתי. היו לי 4 מטר לתמרן, כי גם מאחוריי היו ליגיונרים. אני לא יודע למה קיבלתי צלש, בסך הכל רציתי להגיע הביתה בשלום.
7:20 אל בית הספר לשוטרים אספו את כל הנשארים